Hello, mic test 1 2 3. आफै जुम हुन्छ ए तिम्रो मुखमा पो जुम गरेछ
हेलो के डिस्कर्डमा लाइभ जाने
युट्युबमा
smooth out everything while holding down shifts.
हेर्छ र
हेर्दैन आफ्नै लागि
ए ल गर्छ त लाइभ
युट्युबमा हेर त
Also from this side, I'm just going to smooth this side out like so.
आयो
के छ
Something
ब्लेन्ड जाम
like this is fine. I'm just going to pull in this lower. I'm just going to pull it up and make it much more rounded.
आयो त
I'll just
Sculpting
smooth out this
practice.
area.
मलाई जुम गर्छ ल हटाइछ न ब्लर
तिम्रो मुख देखाउ त
देखाए
के ब्लर हटाउने
बल्ल हेर
Like so.
ए मेरै मुखमा फोकस गर त यसले
मेरो गाउँमा गर अहिले मेरो भाग गर
युट्युबको लास्टै उ छ क्या ढिलो छ क्या लेटेन्सी हाई छ
Alright, that is looking fine. I'm going to go back into object mode and I want to add another round cube for the ear.
खोइ यो
I'm
आफै
just going to
फोकस
change the
गर्छ
number of divisions.
के अरे के
आफै फोकस गर्छ कि के छ
मैले बन्द गरिदिएँ फोकस एरेन खासा अरे को हो तिमी हो
को
एरेन खासा
होइन
हेलो एरेन खासा
होइन त म
हु आर यु
Back to it. I'm going to go into edit mode, scale this down, and bring this to the
यो च्याट कसरी राख्ने यार माथि
रमाइलो पो हुँदो रहेछ त आफैलाई युट्युबमा
जब देखूं गुलाबी लाल पीली अखियां
side of the face.
बल्ल आयो त्यो अघि भनेको 10 सेकेन्ड जतिको डिले छ जस्तो
हेलो डिले 1 2 3
ब्लेन्डरबाट उ त बनाउनुपर्छ क्या इन्टेकहरूको 3D
के हो
इन्टेक
के हो इन्टेक भने
इन्टेक हाइड्रो पावरको
ए
स्ट्रक्चरहरू
तर एक्युरेट हुँदैन नि
Side view, I'm just going to scale it.
डाइमेन्सनहरू दिन मिल्दैन
के अरे
डाइमेन्सनहरू
तर त्यस्तो राम्रो हुँदैन त्यसलाई केही क्याल्कुलेसनलाई युज गर्न मिल्दैन त्यो कुरा
त्यो त मिल्दैन होइन 3D मात्रै बनाउने क्या
भिजुअलाइज मात्र गर्ने
राइनो भन्ने छ नि एउटा राइनो भन्ने राइनो 3D थाहा छ हो त्यो युज गर्छन् कि हाम्रो अफिसमा चाहिँ
ए पेड हो है यो त तिमीलाई आउँछ यो राइनो
पेडै भयो भर्खर सिकिरह मैले अब
कोर्स बनाऊ न यसको सिकेर
Is this a Mac demo?
Keyboard.
Is this the
Huh?
is this a
Rhino
PC
go?
demo?
युट्युबमा बनाउने हो नि
And so I think I'm gonna
एउटा मोटिभ पनि हुन्छ नि
say that this is the first.
के सर्फेस मोडलिङ हो
कस्तो सर्फेस
नर्भ्स मतलब
त्यही 3D बनाउने
त्यही त पोइन्ट बेस्ड होइन कर्भ बेस्ड हो
कर बेस
I don't know, 15 years. So don't sweat it. You may want to.
किन सलिड वर्क छ भन्दा यो किन राम्रो
खै त्यो त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यो पहाडको 3D कन्टुर लाइन्सहरू हालेर पहाडलाई पनि बनाउनु मिल्छ जस्तो छ कि त्यो दाइहरूले चाहिँ टनल सनलको गरेको थियो
लास्टै म्याथमेटिकली एक्युरेट हुन्छ क्या यस्तो कुराहरू चाहिँ हेरेन खासा भनेको ऱ्यान्डम मान्छे हो कि आयो
देखिन्छ हो यहाँ होइन र स्ट्रिममा
हेलो एरन खासा हाउ आर यु भ्युज कति छ
भ्युज भ्युज त अहिले खै सब्सक्राइबै गरेर हिँड्छ मैले
गर्नु पर्यो नि त
सब्सक्रिप्सन देखाउँछ यो सब्सक्राइब गर भनेर खै अहिले त कति
You've been taking OBS Studio for granted. Yes, it's an amazing broadcasting and recording software, but content creators, especially live streamers, have been pushing the envelope so much that OBS became this beast, and you can do so much more with it now. So, hopefully this video will be the first in a series of how to create animations with OBS Studio. And by animation, I do mean small motion design projects like this one. This is not a beginner tutorial, so we'll be using OBS Studio, of course. We'll be using a couple of plugins and also StreamerBot. But before we get in,
त्यो के छ होला क्या टुल सब्सक्राइब गरेपछि आउने
I'm going to rotate this like so.
मैले
scale it a
मेरोमा
bit.
बाट अन हुनुपर्छ
के अरे
मेरोबाट अन हुनुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ
होइन यहाँ हाल्नु पर्यो नि त एनिमेसनहरू सब्सक्राइब गरेपछि कस्तो
ए
आउने
And something like this should be fine. In sculpt mode, I'm just going to make a shape of the ear, just following the reference. Something like this should be fine. So I want to mirror this object from this left side to the right side, and we can do that with the symmetrize option. I'm just going to change the direction from +x to -x, and then I'm going to hit symmetrize, and then I'll make sure to turn on X symmetry, and then we can sculpt this into place. In edit mode, I'll just bring this down a bit more. I'll move it into the face, and I'll just rotate it on the Z axis a little bit more. Something like this is fine. I'm going to switch back to the head object with Alt Q. I'm just going to smooth out this back of the head. And I want to make the forehead of the character bigger. Just pull this out from the side also. Just like so. Something like this seems fine. And now we can actually go ahead and add in the neck. I'm going to add in another round cube from my quick favorites menu. I'm going to scale this down, and I'll bring this down here. SZ to scale it on the Z axis, and I'll just scale it up a little bit more. I'm going to rotate this like so, and in sculpt mode, I'll turn on X symmetry and I'll just shape this into a proper shape for the neck. From the side view, I'll pull this out, I'll bring this up a bit, and from the front view, I'll bring this side out, and also the same for here. I just use Alt Z to go into the extreme mode so that I can see the part of the object that is inside of the head. I'm just going to hold down Shift and smooth this out. I'm actually going to use the line project brush, and then I'm going to slice the bottom part of the neck, and then I'll just use the grab brush and shape this in like so. I'm just going to scale this on the Z-axis a bit more, and I'll use Alt S to just shrink this a little bit. Alright, that's okay. I'm going to add in another round cube so that we can block in the torso. And in object mode, I'm just going to bring this down. I'll bring this to the side. In edit mode, I'll scale this on the Y-axis. I'll rotate it and I'll just bring this up here a little bit. And I'm also going to scale it on the X-axis. I'm going to go into sculpt mode. I'll turn on symmetry. And with the grab brush, I'm just going to pull this into shape. Something like this. I'll just pull this out for the shoulders, and from the side view, I'll just pull this up into the neck, and I'll make this front side of the character. I'll just make it slim, and I'll smooth it out while holding down Shift. I'll pull these shoulders back, and I'll just smooth out the back of the character there. And I'm going to use the line project brush, and I'll just slice this bottom part of the character. Something like this is fine.
YouTube पनि सुन्या
YouTube
And
पनि
now we have a basic blockout for the character. I'm just going to select all of this, and I'll duplicate this with Shift D and M to make a new collection. I'll select a new collection, and I'll just name this blockouts backup, so that in case when we are sculpting and we ever need to return back to the blockout, we always have that backup. And I'll also make sure to save my file. Alright, we can now go ahead and sculpt in more details on the face. Before I add in more resolution to the face, I'm just going to use a grab brush. I'll pull this in something like this. I'll just smooth this out. And then I'm going to press R to bring up the voxel size. And somewhere about 0.05 or 0.04 should be fine. And I'm just going to press Ctrl R to mesh these objects, and then I'm just going to smooth all of this out very gently while holding down Shift. I'm just going to smooth all of this out. I'm going to use the crease brush, and I'm going to mark out the area where the neck is. I'm just going to smooth out all this area like so. Alright, and now I'm going to mark out the eye line for the character. I'm just going to mark out where the eyes will sit with the crease polish brush. I'm just going to mark out the eye line like so. Just from the top of the ear.
यस्तो गर्न मिल्छ, एड गर्न मिल्छ। अब डिस्प्ले क्याप्चर
क्यामेरा चाहिँ कहाँको क्यामेरा?
यो
पीसी को?
यो ल्यापटपको।
ए दामी रहेछ त अनि है? कस्तो क्लियर छ
है, क्वालिटी त राम्रो छ।
राम्रो छ एकदम।
यो चाहिँ ट्युटोरियल यता राख्न मिलेको।
To the middle of the face. Then I'm going to smooth out these top parts and also these bottom parts. And I'm just going to bring down this eye line down like so. And I'm just going to pull out the head, the top of the head a bit more, and I'll also smooth it out from the sides. Alright, that's looking fine. Alright, so now we can go ahead and add in the eyes. I'm just going to use, in objects mode, I'm going to add in a UV sphere. And I'm just going to rotate this from the side view by 90 degrees. I'll scale this down and bring this in front where the eye would be. And I'll move this over to the side. I'll just pull this into place. And then I'm going to add in a mirror modifier. I can add this from here from my quick favorites, or you can go down here from your modifiers and just add in a mirror modifier. I'm going to select the mirror object as the head, and then I'm just going to scale these eyes and put them into place.
मैले मोबाइलबाट हेरेर 3 वाचिङ हुन्छ
Something like this. We'll still go back into sculpt mode for the head and sculpt the region around the eye. But for now, this should work okay. Alright, so now I want to color in the pupils for the eye. I'm going to go into edit mode. I'll select this vertex, and while holding down Ctrl and plus on the numpad, I'm going to select the surrounding faces. And then I'm going to go up to vertex paints, and then we can turn on paint marks, and that isolates the faces that we selected in edit mode. And I'm just going to paint in those faces with this black color. And back in objects mode, we can see the colors are no longer showing. We just need to go up to viewport shading under color and just select attributes. I'm also going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to select attributes and I'll close back this header. And I'm just going to right click and shade smooth for the eyes. So now let's go back into sculpt mode for the head. And now we can sculpt the area around the eye just to give it a bit more shape. I'm just going to pull this backwards. I'm just going to smooth out that area around the eye. Also the same thing for these bottom parts. I'm just going to pull this side backwards a little bit, something like this, and that should seem fine. Once we add in the eyelids, everything will look much better. But before we add in the eyelids, I'm just going to use the crease polish brush, and then I'm going to mark out where the eyebrows will sit. Somewhere around here, the eyebrows will sit somewhere around here. I'm just going to smooth this out while holding down shift. Alright, that's okay. Now let's add in the eyelids. We're going to need a bit more resolution, so I'll press R to bring up the voxel size. I'll just take it about 0.03 and Ctrl R to remesh. And then I'm going to use the draw brush to just draw out the eyelids. I'll just hold down and draw over the top part of the eye. I'm just going to smooth out this top part here. And then I'm also going to
कहाँ चार्ज गर्ने भन्छ त
यहाँ Anytime, infinite. I'm got it out of my heart. All my fellas. Hello, mic test 1, 2, 3. Hello, mic test 1, 2, 3.
To draw in lower eyelid.
Oh my god.
I'll smooth out this area here. Alright, so I'm going to use the grab brush to just make this look a bit more nicer. Just going to pull this out. I'm going to make these eyelids actually wider. And on this side, I just want it to be a little bit more rounded. Something like this. And I'm going to add in more resolution. I'll take it to 0.02 or thereabouts, and I'll remesh everything. And then with the crease brush, I'm just going to crease this area in. And while holding down control, I'm going to mark out that upper edge of the eyelid, like so. And also do the same for the bottom edge of the eyelid. Now just smooth out the surrounding areas. And I want to bring this area of the eye just a bit more down, and I'll smooth it out so that it doesn't look weird. I'll just pull this out and shape this more nicely. Alright, so now we can actually go in and add in the nose for this character. I'm just going to smooth out things for the eye before I add in the nose. Alright, let's add in the nose. In object mode, I'm going to add in a new round cube, and in edit mode, I'll scale this down and bring this forward. And I'll just place it somewhere around here where the nose might be. And now we can go into sculpt mode and sculpt on the nose. I'm just going to pull this shape of the nose into the face just to get this triangular shape like so. And I'm also going to pull in this side just to get in that triangle shape, something like this. And then I'm just going to, with the grab brush, I'm going to pull in these areas for the nostrils. I'm just going to pull in this area, something like that is fine. And when we remesh this, we can add in more resolution and refine this, but for now, this is going to be fine.
Right. के गरेर झोले अहिले
कस्तो साह्रो थियो अरे यस्तो प्रचण्ड ओलिहाल्छ त
कोही माइका लाल्छ केपी ओलीलाई छुन सक्ने
त्यो केयुकेमा होइन
केपी ओली इज द अन्ली केपी ओली
त्यो केयुकेमा है
केपी ओली इज द अन्ली केपी ओली किन भन्नु है त्यस्तो
त्यो पनि त्यस्तो कन्भोकेसन भएको
now the character is looking a bit weird without the eyebrows and the eyelashes. So I'm just going to go in and add in the eyebrows and the eyelashes. Before I do that, I'm just going to crease out where the eyebrow sits, something like that, and I'll smooth everything out. Alright, so let's add the eyebrows of these characters. I'm going to go into object mode, shift A, mesh, and add in a plane. And I'm going to rotate this on the x-axis by 90 degrees in edit mode. I'll bring this forward, scale this down. I'm just going to bring this into place where the eyebrow will be. And for us to make the eyebrow, we need to turn on snapping. I'm just going to change the snap target to face project. And I'm also going to turn on affect rotation and scale. And I'm going to turn on snapping. So once I scale this down, it now snaps to the surface of the character. So I'm just going to model in a simple eyebrow. I'm going to select these two edges, extrude them, and extrude them again. And then I'm just going to scale this down at this corner. I'll add in another edge loop here. And I'm just going to space this out. Something like this should look good for an eyebrow. I'm just going to scale everything on the z-axis. And now I'm going to add in a mirror modifier. And I'm also going to add in a solidify modifier. I'm going to change the thickness of the solidify modifier, something like this. And I want to add in a color for the eyebrow. So I'm just going to go into the object properties under viewport display. And I'm just going to change the color to a dark color like this. And I'm just going to adjust the eyebrow in edit mode. I'll move these two vertices up like so, just to match the reference. And I'm just going to rotate everything this way. I'll pull this vertex in. And something about here is fine. Alright, something like this is fine. And we can go ahead and add in the eyelashes. But before we do that, I think I just want to make the eye shape a lot bigger. So in sculpt mode, I'm just going to use the grab brush and just make the eyes a lot bigger. And I'm just going to make sure that the eyelids wrap and sit around the eyes. I'm just going to smooth out this area just like so. And with the crease brush, I'm just going to mark out the edges of the eyelid. And before we go ahead and actually add the eyelashes, I just want to make this part of the jaw a lot more smoother in my own sculpt. So I'm just going to pull this in. I'm just going to smooth this out. I'll use the grab brush. I'll pull this out a little bit. I'm just going to smooth out this area, something like this. I'll pull out this area just to make it a bit more rounded, and I'll smooth out the under of the jaw. And something like this seems fine. I'm going to use the inflate brush and just add in a bit more volume right here. And now we can go ahead and add in the eyelashes. I'm going to use the same object of the eyebrows for the eyelashes. I'm just going to select a vertex from the brows, and I'm going to shift D to duplicate this vertex. And I'm going to extrude along the eyelid, just like so. Make sure snapping is still turned on for this. I'm just going to extrude somewhere around here, should be fine. And now I'm going to select these edges. I'm going to turn off snapping. I'm just going to extrude them out and up. SX to scale it on the x-axis. I'll just bring this up. And we don't want this side to be this thick, so I'm just going to select these edges. So I'll double tap G to slide that edge. And I'll just do the same for all the other vertices until I get a shape I like. And I'm just going to pull this back, something like this, and I'm actually going to go into sculpt mode. I'll use the brow brush to just shape these eyelashes, and I can also hold down shift to smooth out the shapes of the eyelashes.
थ्री वाचिङ रे त हामी त हेरेको हेरे सुभाष दाइ चिन्छ होइन एक शब्द जाओस्
Thorough answer.